Hello and welcome to How to Be an Effective Verbal Communicator. My name is Daryl Littleberry and I am so excited today to be your instructor for this very important course. As professionals, we have to communicate constantly with stakeholders, peers, user communities, outside vendors, and the list goes on and on. And we want to be effective. That means that we achieve our intended results when we are communicating with others verbally. So let me introduce you to this course. This course was designed for you and mine, professionals who must be effective at communicating and receiving input from peers and management, stakeholders on projects, and the list goes on and on. So here's some things that we're really going to focus in on. I'm going to teach you some practical information that you can immediately apply to your very next communication opportunity. And so this course is got some theory in it, but it's mostly rooted in practical information. I'm going to illuminate that information with some common examples, show you where the challenge areas are, and how we can clear some of the hurdles of those challenges. And I'm going to share some proven insight that I've used for many years as an independent consultant to help really build your skill and promote your desired outcomes when you're communicating verbally. So here are your course objectives. We're going to identify the communication framework. It's the fundamentals of the course. It's the inner workings. We're going to get all through the mechanics and get under the hood of the communication process. This is really to ground your understanding of the communication dialogue process. We're also going to discover insight to tackle those daily communication challenges. I want to increase your effectiveness and your delivery of what you're saying verbally. And so we're going to discover a lot of insight and ways that we can address those challenges. We're also going to recognize the common pitfalls and practical remedies that I'm going to give you so that we can kind of meander and maneuver around and try to avoid some of those common mistakes that we're making perhaps in our verbal communication efforts. I want you to understand and improve your communication abilities. And finally, we're going to round out this course with exploring more communication tips. And I'm going to give you a lot of insight that's going to really help you just take your communication abilities much further, improving your verbal communication awareness and really increasing and sharpening your communication acumen. Okay, starting off, I want to start with some communication trivia. So it's so easy for us to take for granted communicating because we do it all day, every day. We do it in meetings, we do it by phone, we do it in writing, we do it in a variety of ways, and it's so easy for us to take for granted that, of course, everyone's understanding what I'm saying. Not necessarily all the time. So I'm going to give you a little trivia here. So the first question is, the average worker spends what percent of his or her time communicating? Got your answer locked in? Okay, I'm going to reveal it. A whopping 50%. Half of the time, we professionals are actually communicating on the job, whether it's talking, again, in meetings, talking to a peer, working across email. We are communicating half of the time at work. The second question, business success is what percent dependent on effective communication and interpersonal skills? Got your answer locked in? I'm going to reveal it. A whopping 85% is a business success is all about communication skills. It's so dependent on the interpersonal skills that are wrapped around effective communication skills. So thus this class, if you just take my first two trivia questions here, half of the time as professionals we're spending communicating, and 85% of business success is dependent on effective communication and interpersonal skills. You see why this course is so important. Third trivia question, what percent of time spent communicating is listening? Got your answer locked in? I'm going to reveal it. 45%. Almost half of the time we're simply listening to others speak. So there's so much to talk about in this course, but one of the things that I'm going to foreshadow for you is that we're going to be talking about the speaker and the listener, and we have some words that we're going to use. We're going to give those people some names and identity, but you will find that you're playing both roles. So it's just as important to understand the speaking ability as well as the listening ability. Both will promote our effectiveness as a verbal communicator. Okay, fourth question. Writing represents what percent of communication time? What do you think? Got your answer locked in? Okay, I'm going to reveal it. 9%. Yeah, not nearly as large as the other percentages that we were just talking about. It's not that writing isn't important. We're just speaking and listening and verbally communicating more than we're actually typing on a keyboard. And I know someone is thinking, I send a lot of emails. You send a lot of emails. I send a lot of emails. But most of the time, we're still using our mouths more than we're using our fingers on the keyboard. Okay, what percent of all workplace mistakes are the result of poor communication? What's your guess here? Got your answer locked in? Okay, I'm going to reveal it. 25%, a fourth of all workplace mistakes are just based on, I thought we were going to be in the North, I thought we were in the South Conference. Well, I thought that Bill was the lead. You get my point. The poor communication is a whopping 25% of workplace mistakes. So thus this course, we're trying to save that 25%. I mean, 25% may not sound that high, but if we take a pizza and we cut it from top to bottom and we cut it from side to side, taking one whole slice out of that pizza that's 25%. That's a lot of mistakes just wrapped around poor communication, and we can do something about that, thus this course. Okay, your last trivia question here. A remarkable what percent of communication is non-verbal, not using the mouth at all? Got your answer locked in? I'm going to reveal it. 75%. So let's take that same pizza, cut it from top to bottom and side to side, and take 1, 2, 3 pieces out of it. That is 75%. That is how much our communication is about facial expressions, eye contact, the way our mouth is structured. When we're hearing listening to something, our body orientation, whether we're leaning in or leaning back, whether our arms are crossed or whether our body is open, it's all sending a higher message, 75% more than what our mouths would ever say. So I hope this communication trivia has really kind of set the stage for you to really understand why it's so important that we work on this acumen of verbal communication and being effective with it.